Moving on to the last topic that I'm going to talk about, and it was something that I wanted to talk about last week if we hadn't played on Tuesday. It was Urban Meyer's firing. Going into this season, I said to myself, there were two coaches that I didn't want. And I'm not really gonna say who the first one, the Patriots, uh, the Patriots head coach or offensive coordinator. I didn't want him because of what he did to the Colts. I'm one of those people who when it comes to coaches, and you are trying to make a deal, and you're supposed to be the head coach, and then you back out last second. That I don't like that. I don't like that. I think that was a snake-like move. But I think he'll end up being the Patriots head coach when Bill Belichick retires. The other one was Urban Meyer. I absolutely did not want Urban Meyer one way or another. Like, I did not want him at all. And I think that by the time Doug Peterson and the Eagles parted ways, I think that was already too late. It was Urban Meyer. I don't like Urban Meyer. And the reason why I don't like Urban Meyer, it's not because he's a bad college football coach. He's a pretty good college football coach. He's been successful pretty much wherever he went as a college football coach, whether it was at Utah, whether it was at Florida, and Ohio State. The reason why I don't like Urban Meyer is because of how he's left many of these places. Because of how he left Florida. Oh, I'm having a heart condition. Which, okay, you're having a heart condition, step away, take a long break, right? He was on ESPN for like 1 year, and then he went to coach Ohio State. He jumped ship because Alabama started becoming this huge powerhouse, and he knew that he wasn't going to be able to compete at Florida. And since then, Florida's never beaten Alabama in any way, shape, or form. So he's at Ohio State. He wins a championship at Ohio State. And then in 2018, there's this scandal where he has an offensive coordinator who allegedly beat his wife. And this came out, and it was a huge embarrassment because Urban Meyer hired him. And at the end of the day, Urban Meyer's just like, oh, I've got health problems. I'm going to retire. Which, okay, like, take care of your health. You care about your family. Great. Coaching is insanely stressful. And I know a lot of people oftentimes say, well, they're just college. It's easier. No, not true. College coaching is difficult. There's a lot of NFL coaches who go to the college ranks and they're not successful because it's a different level, because you basically have to sell yourself more than you did because you're the leader of the program, where in the NFL you have a boss to go to. Also, college football fans are way more hardcore than NFL fans. Anyway, he leaves, and then he's working for Fox Sports for the pregame show, and then he takes the job with Jacksonville. Like, I thought you cared about your family, dude. I guess you didn't really care that much about your family. And he becomes the head coach at Jacksonville, and drafts Trevor Lawrence, drafts Travis Etienne, basically builds his team the way you shouldn't. You should always draft offensive line before you ever draft any skill players, which I get why they drafted Trevor Lawrence. He's a Heisman Trophy. He was a Heisman Trophy winner 1 year. Was he? I think he was. If he wasn't a Heisman Trophy winner, he was definitely a national champion. I don't think he was a Heisman Trophy winner. I think that was Kyler Murray who was a Heisman Trophy winner, but he was a national champion with Clemson. But the Jacksonville Jaguars kind of have the kind of season that you would expect from a team that only won one game the previous year. In this case, they had won two. But it just seemed like from the jump, he just didn't understand. Like, he's never been a loser. He's never played or coached a losing team. So he wasn't really used to it. Like, when you're rebuilding a team, you have to understand that it's going to take a while. It's not going to take 5 minutes. But it's scandal after scandal, whether it was the girl giving him a lap dance, or whether it was the fact that the players and the coaches were like, dude, this guy's a jerkwad. Whether it was the whole news story of him kicking the kicker, Josh Lambo, for missing practice field goals, whether it was him telling coaches and players that he had a better team at Bowling Green. Just people just didn't like him. And I'm gonna say this maybe I'm just naive in this situation. Maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. But it just seems like the Jaguars owner, Shad Khan, it just seems like he cares more about bringing a football team to London than he even cares about his own football team, than he even cares about the Jacksonville Jaguars, than he even cares about the people of Jacksonville. Because there are a lot of hardcore Jaguars fans who have been waiting a long time to have a good team. Like, they had that one good team, but they hadn't had a good team. They hadn't even been to the playoffs since like 2007. So these are fans that are looking for promise. And they first round pick after first round pick, Blaine Gabbert, Blake Bortles, now Trevor Lawrence. They're looking for something to believe in. And then when you hire Urban Meyer, a guy with multiple red flags, like red flags up the wazoo. And we're sticking with this guy. We're sticking with this guy. And okay, we're just going to fire him because multiple things that he had done that we absolutely positively ignored and let him get away with for months. I have sympathy for the fans because Jaguars fans deserve better. Like, I know quite a few Jaguars fans. Jagging off. There are others. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. I know who they are, but I just can't think of. Tekken is another one. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. But there are hardcore Jaguars fans who deserve better than what's being put on the field. They deserve better. At least the Jaguars fans that show up to the game, but they deserve better. And having Tim Tebow be the tight end when I'm sure there were other guys who deserved to have that spot. But yeah, I mean, I hope that they get someone good, and I hope they get someone good when it comes to the next round, the next time around, because those fans deserve it. The ones that show up, the ones that are proud to be Jaguars fans. I don't know. I think that getting Urban Meyer was the wrong decision out of wrong decisions. It was just clear they might have been trying to bring him in because of his name recognition, but he ended up just being a total flop. There are these college football coaches who come in and they are flops. In college, you are the leader. You command the players. You can You're that father figure. You can do whatever you want with them. And you're like, oh, I'm the king of Gainesville or whatever city is Ohio State is in. But when it comes to the NFL, there's a union. When it comes to the NFL, you can't do those things and get away with it. And there's no doubt in my mind that if Urban Meyer, if the Jaguars had won 8 games this year, if they were at that 8-win spot right now, they would be contending for the playoffs. But there's no doubt in my mind that Urban Meyer, that they'd be completely ignoring these stories about how he kicked Josh Lambo, how he forwent a flight back to Jacksonville to be at his restaurant and not go home with his team. There's no doubt in my mind that he'd still be the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Absolutely no doubt in my mind.